Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon Ranger! So the last part, we finally finished clearing out the Grimers out of the waterworks. And also a muck too. And then after coming here to Summerland, we entered the Marine Challenge and we managed to beat the high score from this guy named Cameron, who we actually learn now from Spencer here, who is actually the ranger leader, who is actually the ranger leader of Summerland. Now, before we go talk to him, I'm actually gonna go around Summerland so we can go see what these citizens have to say. Now, as we're just gonna be exploring around for a while. Now, there are some things that I forgot to mention that I didn't exactly get to bring up within the last video. Now, first off, if you want to do when you want to do repeats of the capture challenge, of not only the Marine challenge, but also for the capture challenge back in Ringtown. Now, for example, you actually have to go through the requirements again in order for you to encounter the very specific Pokemon that show up within those capture challenges. Like for example, if you want to encounter Sea Kings and Starmies, let's say for example, if you want to encounter Sea Kings and Starmies again, then you're gonna have to re-get 2 Goldines and 2 Staryus, all over again. Every time you go through the capture, every time you go through the capture challenge again. So yeah, that's something you definitely have to keep in mind of when it comes to that. And then, now just like what the MC Fisher said, and this also goes into the capture challenge back in a Ringtown as well. Now when he said about we cannot actually have the Pokemon that we catch within the capture challenge as our friends. Now, as you saw, as we were capturing all of those Pokemon. Now, while they may not have, some of them not only still have field moves, and they also have a Poke Assist types as well. Yeah, but however, we cannot bring any of them with us. Yeah, I don't get why they even bother to include that for specific Pokemon that we don't exactly get to bring with us. Yeah, and this also goes into the Pokemon that we cannot have as a, and this also goes into the Pokemon that we cannot have as our friend within the other 2 Ranger games as well. Yeah, I just don't get why they even bother to do that. But anyways, now, and speaking of the Pokemon that we cannot have as our friend, Sharpedo. Now, as you might have saw, his Poke Assist is Dark. So I may as well go over that. Now, when you utilize the Dark type of Poke Assist, now when you utilize the Dark type Poke Assist, it will double the length of the capture line, but however, it will cost your but however, your energy will be reduced. Meaning that it will use at least 1/4 of your own energy. And also you have 6 seconds x the amount of energy used. Yeah, meaning that if you just happen to have more energy that you have on you, the more seconds that you have to be able to use it. But I would say don't even bother using it, because it's honestly just a whole lot better for you to be able to capture loops all by yourself without even utilizing that dark type assist. I'd say that one isn't really all that helpful in the grand scheme of things. Especially if you want to keep your energy healthy as possible. Yeah. But anyways, now here we are at the Summerland Ranger Base. I recognize that uniform. You're a Ringtown Ranger? Why, yes we are. Hey, you're named Ditto? What brings you to Summerland? Go Rock Squad? What's that? Is that like a new dance? Yeah, not that exactly. Oh, the Go Rock Squad. I've never heard of them. Yeah, but you're about to soon enough. Wasn't it hard to get into Summerland? The Ringtown leader ordered you to come here? Wow, that sounds really strict. Our leader went off to the capture challenge again today. The first thing in the morning. Well, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a big surprise, considering I've already beaten that, because I've already beaten his high score. He's now gonna be in the struggle of his life. I better fetch our leader for you. Let's go, Pato. Yep. So while Percy and his Pato to go to fetch Cameron, we may as well check up on we may as well go to the top floor just to see what's up. Now, as we are just gonna be talking to some of our rangers here. Now, there is one thing that I also forgot to mention when it comes to the Marine Challenge. Now, going back to what I said about not having to bring any of the Pokemon that we get there as our friend, but, however, there is only one Pokemon within the whole entire that you can find within the Marine Challenge that you can actually find later, and you can also have as your friend. But as I said, it is only one. And that Pokemon is actually that Pokemon is a Magikarp. Yeah, Magikarp is the only Pokemon that you can find outside of the Marine Challenge. And also the Magikarp is the only water type Poke Assist that its effectiveness will last only for 6 seconds. Yeah. And Magikarp is one of the few Pokemon in this game that actually has a different set number of loops in order for you to get, depending on where you just happen to find them. Now, like for example, the Magikarps that we saw within the in the Marine Challenge, but now, like for example, the Magikarps that we saw within the Marine Challenge, we only had to utilize only one capture loop in order for you to be able to get them. Then as for the other Magikarps that we're going to see outside, that we might see outside of outside of the marine challenge actually requires you to do just a few more loops. Only just a few. Yeah. But anyways, and now here's where we get ourselves introduced to Cameron's partner, a Pelipper. Now, okay, and but then, they were just about done with there, and now we're back down again. They hold the capture challenge down at the Saffron Sea. We already know about that. When our leader enters, he gets caught up in the excitement, so he loses track. So he loses a track at the time. Yeah, I bet he does. Like a little kid, huh? Whoops! Here he is! Yep, here he is indeed. Here's where we officially meet Cameron. Waha! Another great day capturing. I sure had fun again today. Yeah, and I bet you were shocked to see that your high score was changed, huh? Huh? And who might you be? Ditto? Are you maybe the ranger that Spencer wrote about? Well, it's nice to meet you. It's good to know that you came here for your investigation, but that Team Go Rock, was it? Whatever they're called, we haven't seen and neither hid a hide nor hair of them. So I've been taking part in the local capture challenge for enjoyment, for keeping my technique sharp. Yep. And just keeping cool and relax a little. Oh, no. You've got it wrong. Of course, it's not always like this here. Is it really? Is it? Oh, Percy went looking for me? I never saw him. That's odd though. Maybe we just passed each other. Oh, speaking of which, trouble! My poncho was taken away by these weird looking rangers. They captured my poncho using a weird styler. It wasn't like any styler I've seen before. I shouted at my poncho, but he totally ignored me. They disappeared into the olive jungle. This is awful. Maybe what Spencer had to say was right. Was right after all. Ditto, will you help us? Can you go into the olive jungle and we capture Percy's Polytoad? You're definitely more suited for the job than our rangers. After all, Spencer's your mentor. Yeah, he surely is. Oh, I know. How about we do this? I'll get in touch with Spencer and get him to certify this as an official mission. Great idea, huh? It's not like Spencer and I are complete strangers. I'll contact him, of course. Yep. And so now we are just about to begin our next official mission. Yeah, to recapture Percy's Polytoad. Now, I guess I should say this as well. Now I really do hope at this point in the game that you got your capture skills. You got at least several capture skills on you, because starting with this mission is where things are definitely going to get a little bit more tougher. Definitely going to get we'll start to get a little bit more rougher around the edges. Meaning that we are going to get into even more, we are going to get into even more difficult Pokemon to get, and also some boss fights here and there too. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of the email from Spencer, here he is. I read Cameron's message. There's no way I could turn him down. I used to work on the same team as Joel and Cameron for long ago. Yeah, that right there, you can definitely see why those three are ranger leaders. By trying to get the abductors of the Politoed, you may uncover some leads about the Go Rock Squad. Yeah, maybe so. Rescue the Politoed that disappeared into the olive jungle. That's your mission, did it? Why, yes, it certainly is, indeedy. But anyways, but I think with that said, that shall be all I'm gonna do with this part. And so for the next part, we shall be entering the olive jungle. And so, until the next part, I'll see you guys next time.